Hi, my name is Dr. Denise, and this is this week's A Dose from Dr. Denise, where I hope to teach, show, and inspire you how to release your God-given health and life potential. I've been following a theme, and that theme is joy stealers. What robs you of your joy? And today I want to talk about the importance of good relationships. A Harvard study came out of over 700 men that they had studied since the 1930s, and they looked at what it was the most important factor to their health and their longevity. And it was not their blood pressure, it was not their weight, it was not their cholesterol, it wasn't the diet they ate or how fit they were and how many times they went to the gym, and it wasn't even how many times they got adjusted. As a chiropractor, that broke my heart. The number one factor with regards to longevity and health was the quality of their relationships. And I would definitely say that something that robs us of our joy is not having good quality and quantity relationships. Loneliness is a really significant factor in the world, and I talked about this last week, that even though we would think we'd be less lonely with social media, it actually increases our loneliness because often we decrease the amount of face-to-face interaction that we have. So just a few points on this topic. Number one is, before you can be a good friend to someone else, you have to be a good friend to yourself. And, it's really interesting. There's a wonderful quote from Blaise Pascal, who lived from 1623 to 1662. And he said that all men's miseries derive from the inability to sit quietly in a room alone. So my first question to you is, do you like yourself? Are you okay in solitude? And I would ask you to recognize there's a difference between solitude and being alone versus loneliness. My husband was on a business trip all week long, and I was alone in the house with my dog and my cat, but there was never a point where I felt lonely because I'm very comfortable in my own skin, and I've taken some time to get there. But I have to say that I've always been a good friend to myself. You've heard me talk before, if you've been following these doses, that I like to go on a date with myself, and I do that every few weeks on a Friday afternoon where I'll go out on a date with myself. So before you can be friends with others, make sure that you're good being friend with yourself and that you like yourself. And if you don't, then you have to evaluate why not, and that's a whole nother dose. But the second thing is, what are the quality of your relationships? And you need to work on that. Since I've moved to Texas, I've joined up with some really wonderful social organizations. Of course, one of them is my church, and I highly recommend that if you're a spiritual and religious person, that you find a place that feeds your soul, that you go to once a week. And I certainly have found that here at North Point Community Church. And I have found an incredible group of women. It's about a dozen women that I play a tile game with every Wednesday afternoon. And it is so much fun. In the Asian cultures, this is very, very common where women get together, not just weekly, but daily, usually around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And there's something really important to it in your relationship. So I would highly advise you to look for a group that you can belong, people that you enjoy and that you're similar to and that you can have fun with. In a book that I read this past summer by Bronnie Ware, which was so good, it's called The 5 Regrets of Dying. It's a bestseller that came out many, many years ago. Well, not many years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. But Bronnie Ware worked with dying people, and she would work 12-hour shifts with people that were in their last stages of life. So she was basically a hospice care worker in Australia. And she said, of the five top regrets of dying, one of the top regrets is not keeping in contact with friends. So I will let you know that being in a group or an organization or friendly with people is the number one key element of longevity. And of course, your friends, ideally, wonderfully, could be your family, your spouse, your children, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, and that is a win-win for all. So let me conclude with my prayer. O Holy Spirit of God, come into my heart and fill me. I open the windows of my soul to let you in. Come and possess me. Fill me with light and truth. I offer to you the one thing I do possess, and that's the capacity to be filled by you. Of myself, I'm the empty vessel. Come and fill me. Fill me with the life of the Spirit, the life of truth and goodness, the life of beauty and love, the life of wisdom and strength. And guide me today in all things. Guide me to the people you wish me to meet or help. Guide me to the circumstances where I may best serve you, whether by my actions or by my sufferings. But above all, may you, God, be formed in me so that I can dethrone this ego and make you king, so that you are in me and I am in you now and forever. All right, keep close with your friends. Peace out, and I'll see you next Sunday.